G'day, Steelers Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia with another live today. But I'm not here by myself. I have my good mate from Itz Yinzburgh, Tyler, mate. What's going on, mate? How are you?
What's up, Mark? I'm doing great.
Mate, look at the view. Look at the view you got.
Right behind me.
What a beautiful view of Pittsburgh there, man. How many times have you been up there? Just quickly, how many times have you been up to Mount Washington? Like you're a local,
Too many
right?
times
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
you're a local, aren't you? Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Over 20, it's just normal to you, isn't it? When I get there, it's like my whole life changes, and I got to second guess, what I'm doing in life, and you're just like, it's pretty cool. Clouds are out, sun's up.
Get bored for a drive, you head up there, get a view.
Do you ever crack beers up there and stuff like that with your mates, or back in the day?
Every now and then we'll walk. Usually we'll go a little bit down the hill over to the south, and usually that's where all the nonsense will happen on the south side.
Okay. Right. Because I've been there. I think I've been there 3 times now. Took my dad up there once. Been there by myself, stuff like that. Always went up the incline. It was easier. But there's always good fun up there, and there's always a good view of the city. But we have here, g'day, General. What's going on? We have Seth Bell as well. G'day, Seth. Devil's doing 2 pods. Yeah, I think as well. My other mates, Stay the Steelers. I saw this morning, and Nathan from In Hindsight doing a podcast too. So we might have fans going between both. But that's okay. You'll catch it later and see what happens in the replay. I was worried that Mark was attacked by a wallaby and had to cancel his show again. You know what? That's a good question, because this is going to be a question and answer show. And I was actually featured, Tyler, man, on Mark Bergen and Ike Taylor. They do a podcast called Believe in Steelers Network. I asked them a question the other day. I said, and there's 2 options, A and B. Who would you rather fight, right? Would you rather fight 2 male kangaroos? That's option A. Or B, would you rather fight James Debo Harrison after he ran back the 99-yard interception? Who would you rather fight?
Ooh.
Hard question.
Is that right after? Is he gassed a little bit, or is it?
When he laid down and he's like, I'm tired, boss. Like right after.
I'd pick the kangaroos because it would be quick. I think Harrison will still handle me no problem.
You reckon Harrison would still be gassed but jumped up and ready to fire?
Yeah, I think he'd beat the piss out of me. I don't even think it'd be close.
You know what though? Because I had this question, and Mark Bergen and Ike Taylor, they loved it. Ike Taylor said, and I'm going to make a bit of a mashup video out of it too. Ike Taylor said he'd fight Debo Harrison. He wouldn't even allow him to get up on the ground. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't even let him get up. He'd be like, if he's down on the ground, I'm swinging and I'm getting him. The minute the Debo gets up, done, it's over.
Does he have his helmet on and everything too?
Yeah, it's right after.
Oh yeah, mean, even if I got on top of him, he'd throw me with one arm like a football. It'd be over.
Yeah, I feel like he was playing like he was gassed, but he was still like, okay, I'm gassed. And then the minute there's going to be a fight there, he's going to start going, then it's back onto action, right? But the question is a hard question, because 2 male kangaroos, exactly right what Devil says here, is 2 male kangaroos would destroy anyone, and it's dead set. If you've ever seen these guys are massive. Like they're jacked.
They're cut up. They're muscular.
Yeah.
They're
Have you seen them?
Yeah, they're crazy, and they'll square up and fight you like a person. It's funny.
Yes, there is like numerous videos from Australia, and it's not even like our place where about maybe 4 hours from me in the country called Nowra. There's a guy getting chased by a male kangaroo in his own little house and area and stuff like that. And yes, if you're fighting 2 of them that are like angry against you, I don't know what I'd choose, because you're right. If you're gonna fight Debo's gas, he's tired, but it's still Debo.
It's just gonna be a slower death. It's just gonna be slower. That's all that's gonna happen. The 2 kangaroos will pull you apart like a piece of paper.
Yeah,
but if I have to fight Debo, he'll have all his gear on. I wouldn't stand a chance.
You know they can actually do that, right? I've seen not documentaries, but I know they can do it. They got claws like massive fangs, dude. They can rip out your intestines and stuff like that. They can hold onto you too, and then jump on their tail and kick you with their feet, like kick you right into their feet as well. So that's pretty crazy. So that's why I asked the question. I don't know how I came up with that question. I might have had a few drinks or sherbets or whatnot. But Mark Bergen, the bloke who runs it with Ike, they loved it. They were like, but they both chose, and I'll show the video too. But they both, when I do the thing, they both chose Debo. And I was like, I kind of get it. But Mark's thing was, well, Debo, he could fight him. It doesn't have to win. But still, I think I don't know what I'd do. I'm like, I might try the kangaroos because maybe if you hook two of them, you should be fine. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it'd be a tough fight either way. And so, does the fight end when someone gets knocked out, or does it end when you die?
exactly. I'm thinking like if you really had to do it, I would probably choose the kangaroos because there's no way you can knock out Debo. I
Especially
don't
with
think,
all the gear on too. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right after, so he runs back to 99 yards, he lays down, and then for some reason you go pick him up and try and fight him like a boss battle. But the other scenario is two kangaroos, in the desert, and you're like, okay, let's fight, like Mortal Kombat style, and it's ready to go. I think you'd have a better chance fighting two male kangaroos, but that's just me. G'day, Maurice. What's going on? G'day, Felicia. Felicia's Harrison, so Felicia taking on Harrison. There you go. There's a chance right there.
I think it's more realistic of survival, but
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm picking quick, it's gonna be the kangaroos. But would I put James Harrison against two kangaroos fully geared up?
Oh man, that's a show right there.
I mean, he might take one down.
I would pay money right now to delete this and just get Debo versus kangaroos.
Yep.
Like maybe two or three kangaroos, and then like, okay, maybe after he was like 99 yards and he got up, was like, why am I fighting kangaroos? That'd be something to see. Or then Peter would probably come after him, right?
Yeah, they'd be pushing the whole agenda.
All right, g'day, Jeremiah. You know what's going on? Ready for some Steelers? Me too, man. So in today's episode, we're going to ask, if you guys don't know, you guys probably do know, Itz Yinzburgh got super crazy subscribers over there, makes great highlights. We're going to ask Tyler and myself some questions about anything Steelers stuff, or anything crazy like that with a kangaroo story too. But who else we got here? We got Pittsburgh Toddy. What's going on? We got You Go. He's at work. We have. I treat Debo like a car wreck and hit it and run all the way. Just like one punch. See you later. I'm out. I guess that still counts as a fight. Pittsburgh Toy says, how about fighting a honey? I don't think we have these here. What are honey badgers? What are they? Oh, you're gone. You're muted.
Oh, my fault. I heard some sirens again. I had to let it go.
Yeah.
They're like these badger? little creatures with sharp. I think they have sharp. I might be confusing them with a wolverine, because every time I get the same thing in my head with the honey badger, Tyran, and right. I'm always like, what exactly are these? I don't see them wandering around here. So,
is that like a little skunk, something like that? It's like a little mammal skunk. I don't know what it is.
It's like that, but I think they have really sharp claws that they use.
I feel like
a small dog.
Isn't a honey badger more like a ground animal where you could probably kick it or something like that? Oh man, we're
getting now. If we're fighting a honey badger, I'm like Chris Boswell with that thing.
We're gonna.
That's a chance I have there.
What, 55 yards out, straight through the uprights?
Yep.
We're gonna get the news in the. We're just talking off the air about Pittsburgh local news. Two blokes on the internet want to fight kangaroos and honey badgers. Cancel them right now. That's what's gonna happen.
Just ignore it. Ignore the.
Cancel Itz Yinzburgh and Steel Nation Australia because they want to fight honey badgers, defenseless.
Talk about punting them.
Yeah, that reminds me of that movie Anchorman. Did you ever see that?
Yeah. Yep.
What was the first reaction when you ever saw Anchorman when he kicked his dog? That was crazy,
the one off the bridge.
Yeah, how crazy was that? Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I remember that. That's hilarious.
I think it was Jack Black. He's like, you destroyed something I love. I'm going to destroy something you love. And picks his dog up and just punts it over the river. It's like, shoo. It's just like, see you later. Oh, man. That's nuts. J-Devil, I like the way this show's going already, by the way. It can be Steelers questions. It can be any questions you want. I'm all for it. It's off-season work. J-Devil says, could you guys, take on a cheetah? Nah.
No way.
I don't think so.
Can't run from it. I can't fight it.
Have you seen them the way they run?
Oh, they go, what, 60, right? That's like the 50, 60 miles per hour.
Yeah. I just feel like how strong they are. If you're in the wild and you're like by yourself, I think you're gone. I think when I was overseas, we always got talked when I was in Canada in the mountains and stuff. They always talked about the mountain lions, like the pumas or whatnot. And apparently there's stories out there that they say that they stalk you for like 30, 45 minutes. So when you finally see it, it's been watching you for that long.
It knows it can take you by then.
Yeah, it knows. Have you seen that video where the bloke turns around the corner in the forest and there's a puma just watching him?
No,
he goes around the bend and just sitting there going, okay. You know, I don't know. Some of those ones I'm like, okay, drop the phone, run away, see you later. But yeah, there's no way. If I see a cheetah outside and it wants me for a meal, I think I'm gone, and you're gone too, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's a shot.
Pittsburgh Toddy says it's similar to Wolverines. I don't know what that is. All I know is Wolverine, which is like a X-Men.
Yeah, that's what I confuse them with is Wolverines. I just know they have claws and
the real sharp claws, right?
Yeah, little ferocious things.
Daredevil says honey badgers are fight off lions. Those are sick cunts. And I can still say that name, by the way, even though cunts might have competition in the in the season. I doubt it though. Inglorious Bot says, I have no idea what that means. Do you know what that means? Fire is a special variant of no idea what that means. You got to shoot a special shot.
Yeah, it's like a ammunition for it, I'm guessing. Heavy ammunition.
So, I think if I did that in Australia, if I shot something in Australia, I'm definitely going. I'll be cancelled for sure. G'day, Rob. What's going on? G'day, Edit the World. Just poke him in the eye. All right, let's talk some Steelers stuff then. You know, also, how you been, man? What's been happening in Itz Yinzburgh life? What have you been doing for the last? I think we haven't done a podcast for like the last year or so. What's been going on?
Just same old. Weekly videos, sometimes daily, usually in the summer. But been taking a break lately and staying away from all the Steelers nonsense for a little bit.
There's a lot. The more I cover things now, I find that everything is now clickbait. And what I like about your videos really can't be clickbait, can they? Because they're telling you a story, what the story is going to be. It's going to be, okay, I think there was one the other day, or might have been someone the other day, Slash ran the 80-yard run or something. That one might have been an older one I saw.
Oh, on my second channel. I just put the plays there, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like when you do those videos, you're telling the audience what it is completely. But nowadays, it's like, Steelers trade for this guy. And it's like, no, they didn't. I didn't trade for that guy. You want them to trade for that guy.
The 24/7, I guess they're owned by CBS Sports on Facebook. They'll put like, oh, the Steelers could trade for this guy potentially now or sign this guy. And it'll show like Dalvin Cook, but he's just a free agent. So they just take those and copy and paste them just to get clicks. And I've seen other channels do it where I've debated, kind of dabbling into current Steelers stuff, but it's just never ending. And I don't want to fight for clicks. I don't want to do because there's another guy doing Steelers trading for him. That's fine. But I don't want to have to razzle up my own thumbnail, my own content just to try to get some clicks.
No, I think what you're doing is fantastic because I've thought about doing the highlight stuff. I haven't got the patience for it, though, to be very honest. I think it takes a lot of patience and grind and effort to put all the videos together. You do a fantastic job. But what I've noticed doing my videos here on talking about Steeler news is you have to have some little bit of a hook and stuff like that. Otherwise, no one clicks.
Yep.
But a lot of the time around the YouTube land now, there's a lot of clickbait and a lot of crap that is like, Steelers trade for this guy. It's like, no, he didn't. They didn't do that. You know what I mean? Or Steelers cut this guy. It's like, no, they didn't cut that guy. So that kind of stuff really infuriates me. But I'm glad I had this little community here with Still Oz and everyone in the chat and Daredevil, Seth and Bot and Yoda and Toddy and all those guys. And Gene just came in too. Like, I think I'm building something really fun here and awesome. Like, I just talk my talk, man, and see what happens. But I agree with you. I think there's so much craziness in the Steelers media now. It's so over dramatized than it needs to be. It's like, did you hear about TJ Watt being trade bait next week? It's not gonna happen.
It's always something, and it's like Kenny Pickett shotgunning a beer at a concert.
What's
nothing to do with anything. It's just nonsense.
What is wrong with that? Honestly, what's wrong with that? I thought it was great.
Oh, he didn't break any laws. It's cool when other players do it. Mahomes. He slams the beers at the hockey games. No one bats an eye to that.
Why can't Kenny do it? Why can't Kenny shotgun a beer? I thought it was fantastic. I thought he's just being a normal guy.
Just showing he's human.
And it's only like one beer. Like, with one beer, what are you going to do? You can't do anything with one beer. You can't get drunk with one beer. You can't be over the limit.
A little head change, that would have been it. It's not like it would have been one thing if he took a case of beers up there, shotgunned all, but even then it just would have been impressive.
Yeah.
If he would have shotgunned all 12, maybe probably would have been bad optics.
The thing is, though, like, it would be different scenario if Kenny Pickett didn't show up at training camp for 3 weeks and they found him in a rusty old hotel with like the drinks and that's a different story. Shotgunning a beer in front of the audience saying, "Hey, I can do this." And you know what's kind of funny too? The Pittsburgh media, the guys who support him, that kind of stuff, they kind of egg it on to a certain way, like, "Oh my goodness, he can't do this." It's like, yes, he can. Don't you have beers when you have dinner? Like, it's different if that was before a game, like 4 hours before a game, maybe, But people get away with stuff. Ike Taylor got away with wearing headphones. I think other players got away with smoking the green grass and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's all kind of crazy. Thank you, Felicia. That's much appreciated as well. Yeah, I'm just what I talk about is what I talk about, and it's fun. What are your thoughts about this season, man? Like, overall, in a big nutshell, what's happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are you keen for 2023?
I always look at it, what we've added versus what we had. And this year we added so much versus what we had already. So I can only see it being better. But if you ask me every single year, I'll probably give you the same answer like that, where I always think it's going to be better. But I'm hoping Kenny makes that sophomore jump, adding Allen Robinson. Great receiver, great veteran. I just hope, we actually take the pieces that we got and do something with it.
It feels different, doesn't it? A little bit, doesn't it? I think it feels different because, honestly, that Big Ben's gone. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
Now that we have like a new era, a new fresh start. I know we have this, a better offensive line. The running backs with Najee getting better. Also, did you know Najee Harris has a YouTube channel? Did you know that?
Oh really?
Yeah, I found
that
today.
Good? I haven't watched any.
It's pretty good actually. It's not bad. He cuts his videos in a cool way. So he does his vlog, and then while he's talking about it, which is actually a pretty good technique, he watches the video and then cuts in and talks about what he just saw in the video. It's pretty good. Okay. Not too bad. Yeah, check out Najee Harris. And also link and try and comment. Get me and Itz Yinzburgh on the show. It's not too bad, eh? It's not too bad. So, but I'm overall excited too, man. I think it just feels different. It feels Big Ben. I think was not weighing us down, but it's like we had a chance to win, but nothing was really happening. And now it's like, okay, we have the new era with Kenny Pickett.
Breath of fresh air. It's something new.
Yeah. And Kenny Pickett going into year 2. Have you seen him working out and stuff like that all over Twitter?
Yeah, he looks good. He's putting in the work, so hopefully it translates.
I feel like he's working out every day with Robinson rather than being with his wife, which is, good for us, but maybe not for his wife. But he's like I don't think he even went on a honeymoon. I just think he just went back to work. I think he wants to win. I think he wants to be a part of this thing, and of course, play good football and get a contract, right? Get the next contract. Right? I think he wants to be around for a long time. Here we go. So Jared Devil says record prediction. What's your record prediction for this year?
Oh man, I want to get bold and say 12 wins, but I'll go 11-6. I think that's fair, and I think it's with what we've added a fair prediction with Kenny. Assuming Kenny's going to grow a bit, and assuming Robinson will stay healthy. The offensive line will stay healthy. TJ Watt. If TJ Watt stays healthy all year, 13, 14 wins. 11 wins wasn't out of the question last year if he was healthy. So maybe if TJ is healthy, 13 wins. I think that's fair.
Did the NFL fan base forget about TJ Watt?
Oh, yeah. I was reading
what happened?
a Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt bench start and cut.
Yeah.
And I just assumed every single one would be start TJ, which majority still were. But a lot of people, Garrett, Bosa. I don't see it with Garrett. I think he's phenomenal.
What is the overall obsession with Garrett? I don't see it either.
He's a freak athlete. He uses that to get a lot of sacks, make a lot of plays, but he's not. TJ is like Troy Polamalu, where when it's clutch time, he seems to show up. And that's something you can't You can be the best athlete on the field, but if you can't just show up when the moment matters, you're just not that guy. TJ makes those plays when it matters.
I haven't seen that many games where I think Garrett's taken over the game for us and made moves and tackles where you thought, oh my goodness, this guy wrecked the game. Well, it's like TJ can do that.
He's a
in
game
the
wrecker,
backfield.
yeah.
So I think the NFL media is right on this Miles. They want to make Miles Garrett a thing, but it's like he hasn't really done too much. I don't think he's never won. He's been maybe a few Pro Bowls, but I think because TJ got injured, they're like, everyone's off TJ right now. I just don't understand. I think it's going to fuel him up.
Pro Football,
You know what I mean?
they put out a tweet saying, you know, the stats, the sacks, the interceptions, the tackles for loss, the forced fumbles may show you one thing, but we think Garrett's better. And I don't know what that means. If every other stat points to TJ Watt, who has played in less games even throughout all these injuries.
Wait. Say that again. So what they say? Stats what?
Despite the stats, they still have a better grade on Myles Garrett than TJ Watt as an overall player, whole career.
That makes no sense.
Nope.
And I'm trying to think of an analogy. Like, I don't know. You might have a really nice fancy car, but my push bike's better than yours.
It was like when
what the hell is that?
They try to use Cameron Hayward and all the rest of the D line, which hasn't really been there in recent years, as an excuse for why TJ is better. But I mean, he was playing opposite Clowney for how many years?
Oh, that's another one too. Actually, I saw another report the other day. Was they were trying to bring Clowney into Steelers?
Really?
Yeah, it's all these dude. What is it? It's like I don't know who it was. It wasn't the 33rd team. It wasn't Pro Football Focus. It's always just like this like dude from who writes this paper somewhere on the internet and says this guy would be a good fit for the Steelers. And that goes viral. And the next minute it's like, oh, Steelers are interested in this guy. No, they're not. Clowney's not going to come over to the Steelers. It's not going to happen. He's not a I don't think he wants it. He doesn't want to play football like the way we play it. So I think it's madness. Some of this stuff's madness.
Yeah, I don't see where he'd even fit in that well.
Yeah, it was some dude on some dude on. I said a video the other day. I said some dude, and then one of my viewers here, Pete, was like, "Exactly right, Mark. Some dude. You don't know who he is." Got here. Pittsburgh Toddy says, "This is a good question. How many combined rushing yards combined? I guess for the whole season is Najee and Warren gonna do over the season? What 3,000? How many you reckon?
I'm gonna go, since we have the extra game a little higher than usual. I think Najee will put up 14, and Warren might put up 6. So we'll go even 2.
Yeah, I reckon I've said this a long time now, for like the last month or so. I got this sneaking suspicion that Warren is going to go absolutely off this year, right? I'm pretty sure that Warren is related to Willie Parker. I think he's cousin or something, right? Do you know that?
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, I think he is. And let me know in the chat, guys, if he is. I'm pretty sure he is. Anyways, the way he ran last year, if they feed him the ball, I reckon he might be able to crack 1,000. I know that sounds crazy, but if they run this ball well enough, I reckon it might be close to 1,000. So I could probably say over 2,000. I think Najee's going to run the rock really well. I think Warren's going to run the rock really well too. And I think you'll see more of a split like carry situation where Najee is running maybe 60% and then Warren's doing 35%, and the rest of the other 5% is like the jet sweeps and the Haywood and stuff like that, right? So I can see that.
I like Warren a lot.
Oh, Warren's cool, man. I think he just run.
I was pitching for him to get more carries early on the season last year than Najee, because Najee was clearly hurt.
Yeah, he was.
And I think he was more effective.
Yeah, and the Steelers kind of, we know this too. They kind of do this, don't they? They kind of like, I guess fans see a little bit of a problem there. They should play Warren, but they kind of stick with it until it's like, oh, okay, and it's not working, and then they change it. But I agree with you. The way he ran last year, and also I think he had one of the highest catch percentages for a running back last year too. He only dropped like 7 catches.
He was fantastic.
Oh, I reckon he's down, man. To be. Hopefully, we don't trade him away or anything like that. If he gets, because once he gets popular, Warren gets popular, the fan base is going to want to trade him away, like they want to trade away Highsmith too. Like Highsmith, like now is a really good player. What do we want to do? Trade him away for picks. I don't get it. Devil says here, yeah, I didn't know that. Najee, man, Najee Harris got a channel. Here's a good question we have from Robert as well. He says, who do you think would be a third? This one's hard for me. I don't know. Who's going to be the third running back, you reckon, and backup center?
They bring in so many guys who could be the third. I'm not sure if McFarland's sticking around, but with Canada's offense fully opening up, assuming this year, I would say McFarland, but that's if he's still there. I can't remember.
McFarland's there. But speaking of guys who's not there, you know what I've seen throughout the offseason, right? The stuff I've been following online. I've seen, I think, 4 people, and I think 2 channels have said that Benny Snell's on the team. He's not on the team. He's not. Benny Snell was cut or like a free agent and was gone. So Benny Snell's not there. I actually don't think, man, because I looked into the numbers last year. It was only about, I think, 45 to 50 carries for the third down running back. I don't think it matters, actually, who's going to be there. It only matters to
do it.
Hey?
The Steelers just don't use that third guy. They hardly – even when we tried the two-headed monsters, the Steelers didn't use the second back. Remember
they ran Bell. Williams. Yeah.
D'Angelo Williams was leading the league in rushing until Bell came back. Then they just threw D'Angelo Williams away. He was not getting any carries. He hardly played the rest of the year. So I'm always the committee guy because if you look at – I made a Najee Harris video about Super Bowl winning teams use committee of running backs. All of the recent ones, it hasn't been a star running back like Adrian Peterson in so many years.
He was good, wasn't he? Wasn't he good to watch? God, he was good.
Oh, he was so fun. And those guys just – I think the last one in that video at the time was Marshawn Lynch, but they played behind the Legion of Boom and that whole defense.
But even like Peterson, there's that one game I think he rushed on the Browns like 295 yards.
Oh yeah, his record one. Yeah,
that was insane.
He ran over really gay, like he was a nobody.
That was our game, wasn't it? Didn't he like just went kaboom over the put the shoulder down, eh?
Just completely ran him over.
Yeah, that's nuts. No, I agree with you because I looked at the stats last year and like they were trying to use Najee. I think Najee ran the ball about 65% or 7%. Warren was about 30 with about I think 400 yards. But the third down running back, realistically, they don't use. They only use in some aspects, and they used Derek Watt last year, I think 6 times, and Connor Hayward a little bit too. So to me, it's not that big of a deal to have a third down running back, whoever it may be. But in my opinion, they have to play teams. They got to play teams to go and tackle someone, and you won't see him that much on the field. What do you think about End of the World says, Omar Khan? What are your thoughts on Omar Khan?
I really like what he's doing right now, but the only way to tell is like 5-10 years from now because he's making moves I like to see just entertainment-wise. He's willing to switch things up, sign guys, bring in all this extra talent, which I think is the current NFL, and I wish they would have had him 2016, 2015, using this philosophy to build around that non-existent defense for 5-6 years.
Well, the secondary we had?
Yeah.
Well, didn't we have like Antoine Blake or someone like that?
Antoine Blake, Ross Cockrell. I wasn't big on Mike Mitchell. And I think Will Allen started a lot of those.
Mike Mitchell was a big hitter, but he didn't really do much else, did he? He wasn't the savior.
He didn't have any monster hits with us. He had a few hard cracks, but not. It wasn't like having Ryan Clark back there, where if a guy went over the middle, it was over.
Yeah, I always thought he was kind of slow when I watched him, but you're right. That secondary is pretty bad. There was no real standout, was there?
It's not like you can say you remember that Mike Mitchell interception, remember that Mike Mitchell hit. He might have been okay, especially in the bad secondary, but he wasn't a game changer. It's not like having him back there.
No, well, that's one thing that the PFF guys and all those guys around the internet have gotten right is Minka's up there. They do rate him as the top safety in the league, and that's for sure.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, well, that's one thing they give us, man. It's one thing, and we don't see that. G'day, Josh. What's going on? Says he's in the hospital, mate. I wish you well. Hope it's all going well. Whatever you're going through. It's not a fun time being in there. I've been in there a few times where I've cut my finger and whatnot and went into it. The only good part about the hospital is the really strong drugs that I've had in there. There's something that I tried asking the nurse for a double dose and she cut me off. I was like, this is crap. What you gave me was like morphine. Have you ever had that stuff? It's insane. You feel like you're floating on clouds.
I've had kidney stones once, and the only thing they gave me some medicine right away, and it was the only thing for a month I felt okay with.
You just feel like Jello, don't you? You just feel like you just mold into the chair. It's like the world just disappears. It's great. I cut my finger and then I had to because the nurse goes around all the beds and stuff, and there were guys getting their appendix out and stuff like that. And she goes to me on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And I was like, 8. And she said, Mark, you've had enough. You've had enough. I went, she knew what I was doing, man. Because I already had 2 that day. I had 2 of them, like 1 in the morning, 1 for lunch. And she was checking up on me. I was like, oh, I don't feel. And she's like, I know what you're doing. I was like, fair enough. You got me. Because, man, they were insane. Like, I would, because I was there, for some reason I was there for a night. I only cut my finger. But it zoned me out. Like, in the morning, I just slept all day. And then I was like, oh, if I get one before bed, I'll go to Dreamland. It'd be fantastic, you know? But she was smart, man.
Forgot my finger was even cut.
Well, there were guys next to me in the ward that were like screaming in pain, like in agony. I'm just like watching TV, eating food, and I'm just like on my real high trip. I was loving it. I loved it. It was great until I got home, and then everything wore off. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, Josh. Man, it's not too fun in there. It's a bit of a wild ride. Yeah, what a take of the day. Miles Garrett's a bum. He will never be anything more than a decent player, just lazy player. Yeah, I'd say I don't think there's anything special about him. He got 16 sacks last year. There's nothing really stands out for me. G'day, Rob. What's going on? And we have g'day Smackdown. That's me, mate. It's me, mate Dylan in Australia. I got a question for Mark. Okay, so you can't answer this, all right? How many? He's not there. Benny Snell's not on the team, bro. Oh, I'm sick of it. There's one publication out there called Chat Sports. They still think that Benny Snell's on the team.
Really?
Yeah, mate. They have no idea. They still think the other bloke there, Jeremy McKinnon's on the team as well. I've seen their like depth chart. It's just comical.
Did he even make it halfway through the season technically?
Who, Jeremy McKinnon?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I think he was injured or something. We signed him, and we signed an injured player like we normally do with the William Jacksons of the world. And then we're all kind of a little bit hyped up, and then we just cut him like 6 months later. I don't understand how that happens. You know how we signed Jackson, the cornerback?
Yeah.
And he was meant to get through the injury, and then we just cut him at the end, and now he's playing for the Rams or someone?
Yeah, I guess they thought he would potentially come back before the end of the year, but it never happened.
Yeah, but I know he had a really big problem with his back and stuff like that. It was just, I don't know, just all kinds of everywhere. Here's a good question. I've been thinking about this question too. And also, guys, make sure you feed in the questions in the chat. We'll try and bring up as many as we can. It can be Steelers, can be Kangaroos, whatever you want to do. Pittsburgh Toddy says, do you think CA3 can be a significant impact on the offense? Is he too small? I've been hearing this debate. What do you reckon?
Oh, if he's fast and he can find the open space on like Dre Archer could, he'll make a huge impact. Especially speed right now in the NFL is more important than ever. Size, there's a half a dozen great players right now who are under 170 pounds. Maybe not that many, but Tyreek Hill's little, what's his name over in Philly? He's tiny.
Oh, is it not Boston? Is Boston Scott? Is he gone? He's not there anymore, is he? I don't know what you're talking about.
Smith. What's his first name? Smith Rogers.
Yeah, Devontae?
Yep. Devonta. It's one of the.
Is he like number 11? Is he or something?
Yeah, he's Devonta Smith. Devonta. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his first name. Yeah, Devonta. He probably. I mean, have you seen how big he is?
Nah, not really.
He probably weighs 170 pounds soaking wet. He's little, but he's great. I think he's going to be a star in this league.
But the thing to me is, like, with CA3 and his size, I think they've been playing football long enough. It's like they kind of it's not that big of a deal. As long as you put him in a situation to not get headhunted and over the middle and get roughed up. Or
they can't even hit anymore. Those guys, the defenders can hardly hit the same way. So those little guys flourish. They last a lot longer. That's
why we need to bring back the Kenny Pickett slide. You know how he didn't pit, you know? I think people forgot about that he did that. I reckon he did it on purpose. You reckon he did that on purpose?
I don't think so. I think he was going to, and then he backed out of it.
And the guys just like, oh, he's going to slide next week.
I don't think they should have banned it. I don't think if you are athletic enough to fake the slide, like start leaning like that full speed, I don't think they should ban it.
There's probably blokes too, like Josh Allen. I'm sure Lamar Jackson have done it before, or something similar to that. You know,
it's like running to the sideline. Same difference.
Oh yeah. Who was that player? Was it? I think it was Bell. Wasn't it Bell one year around the sideline? The guy gave up. It was maybe a Charger. I I don't know who it was.
It was the Bengals.
So the Bengals, he just
They
gave
threw
up,
to the
right?
sideline. He started creeping towards it and
Yeah,
like
he
let
just
off.
just ran up. Shoo.
But are they going to ban that too, saying you can't do it? I think it's just it's using some football knowledge right there. Great
Man,
players.
if they get into that kind of stuff where it's like based on emotion, that's going to be hard to watch. Oh, he was heading to the sideline. We thought he was going out, so he's out. I'd hate to see that. That would be
They
awful.
just shouldn't throw the flag when it's close. Jackson did that to Cameron Hayward a couple years ago, where he went towards the sideline. He didn't even get fully out, but he like slipped right out, and they called a foul on Hayward, saying it was unnecessary roughness. I can't remember what year. I think it was 2021.
Wasn't the same when Hayward last year pushed down on them or punched him somehow?
Yeah, he they called one. I think it was in the Browns game, end of the game, where I guess he was just getting up, turning around, like going towards the play.
Yeah.
And they said that was unnecessary roughness. It wasn't like remember the Herbert one where it looked like he kind of punched him. I could see that one more than the one last year.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of too. Didn't you like do like bang 2 punches in a row?
Yeah,
like,
but it wasn't. Punches? I don't think it was like a big malicious. And I mean, they're wearing pads. It's hard to punch somebody. It's like when someone punches someone with a helmet. You do more damage to your hand than you do to someone with.
That's the oddest thing. I think the fighting in the NFL is always odd to me. I understand hockey why they fight, but in the NFL, it's like just wait for the next play because you're scrapping and trying to get someone's helmet off. Doesn't make any sense to me. We have another question here, kind of an odd one, but Ed of the World says, "Do you think I think they have a division? Oh, in the NFL,
where they can go up and down, right?
Ooh.
Is that what?
Maybe like, do you mean like Jags? Like, would the Jags be like Europe?
Oh, okay. I was thinking like the Champions League type deal they do with soccer, where like the worst team moves down, the best team, the next division moves up. But
You know what? That would work. If they did that, you'd have to have, though, I think 32 teams or like an equal amount of teams on the bottom. If you combined XFL and USFL and got all the teams again by 32, and if you did that, that would be interesting. Do you know why? Because the Browns would be right down.
It'd be out of the league every 2 years.
And that would also be like, say you had like 32 teams in the NFL and 32 teams on the other one, 64 teams, right? You could cover all the teams. By the way, you'd be working overtime in your videos. But
yeah,
you'd have 3 will go up, 3 go down, or 4 go up, 4 go down. That'd be quite interesting, I think, because some teams you couldn't fight for the last place draft because I guess you get relegated. I don't know, that would be interesting.
That would be
fun. I'm not bringing that one up. What? Oh my! Hang on. Mark's the kind of guy that makes deals at Chinese laundry. See, that's because he's my mate, right? My mate Dylan. Only I know that. No one knows what that means. I'm not going to repeat what that means. I actually can't repeat that. I'll tell you after the show. Holy dooly. G'day. What's another one here? We have. Ooh. What player holds the Steelers state record and what would be broken? So Debo has 80 and 5 sacks. So, and I think Cameron Hayward's 2 behind, and TJ Watt is 3 or 4. So who breaks it first?
Ooh. I mean, gun to my head, TJ.
Yeah, even though I think he's 4 or 5 away, whereas I think he's 76 and it's 80.5, and I think Cameron Hayward's 78. So I reckon in the same game, when they verse Brock Purdy or if it's Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, I reckon they both break it. I reckon Cameron Hayward breaks it and then he gets 2. And then TJ Watt's going to break it the same game. We're going to get 6 sacks in one game. Could you imagine that? Imagine if that happened and they're like, well, Cameron Hayward can't go to the Hall of Fame. TJ Watt can't go to the Hall of Fame. They just broke Debo's record in the same game. Like Cameron Hayward breaks his record, Debo's, and then TJ Watt, the same game, 1 sack later, breaks his, 81. I would lose my mind.
It's not far-fetched. Not at all.
It could happen. I think he's like 4 away.
I'm surprised Gillen's record was up there as long as it was. At 76 or something?
Who's that?
Jason Gilden. He had he held it for the longest time I think he had 76. I always forget about him.
Even like Debo at 80 is pretty high. But now it's like, well, TJ's been here 7 years and he's going to probably get like 150 sacks. Gene says here, who's your favorite player, Tyler? Like, of all time?
Ooh. That's tough. I'd have to probably go with Hines Ward. I think everything Hines did was the right way to be a football player. And it's funny that people can call a guy who is not 6'5", not 250 pounds, probably the scariest guy on the field. I think that says a lot about the way he played. He was so much fun to watch too.
He's so physical. This hit anyone. This will love to block, love to catch, and just put his pads down and just try
it's
and
forgotten
someone.
about how good of a blocker and how much that made a difference. I mean, he had a whole rule changed after him. It's like basketball. Everyone looks at the scores, but your most important guy, there's two sides to the field, which in Hines' case is blocking, like run blocking. So it's so important.
He came all the way back, didn't he? Come all the way back and
you do the crack back.
And it's like just nail the guy, like absolutely nail him. Because he's going for the player, but doesn't see him and it goes bang.
I mean, I get it, but like when Keith Rivers broke his jaw, he's looking forward. And is it his fault Hines is coming to block him to stop him from hitting his teammate? I don't think so. Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, I guess some players, I know I get the rule as well. Probably shouldn't be there, but yeah, you got to be aware of the surroundings on the field, like at all times. You should never give up, you know.
And especially when it came from in front of you, when you were running forward and the sidelines to your right. I mean, there's only so many places you're going to get hit in that situation. I think on a punt, it's a fair rule.
Yeah,
because you could have guys who are cherry picking a block.
We pretty much never see that happen now, do we? We don't see anything like that, do you? Like any kind of like physical play like that, like a Hines, you know? It doesn't really happen.
Juju was starting to get into it, especially with that block on Perfect. He had a few of those just absolutely wild blocks, but they penalized you every time. They suspended him for that hit, which is
Did he get suspended for that? I forget.
I'm pretty sure he got a one game.
Yeah, but that was like face to face though when he knocked out Vontaze. Maybe it was the walkover. What was that actual hit? Because he walked him over.
I think it was a textbook crackback, but the walkover I think solidified it. But I mean,
yeah, the photo's good.
It doesn't even hurt anybody. It doesn't hurt. It's not like he went over and started kicking him.
Yeah,
he just knocked out a guy who weighs 60 pounds more.
I think he's got merch too. I think he's even got merch of that as well, of like the standing over and stuff like that. Like I was never a fan. Vontaze Burfict is one of the reasons why I hate the Bengals. I can't stand them, and now I hate them because Joe Burrow is just a weird bloke. Okay, we've got a few more questions here. Seth says, "What is Kenny's passer rating at the end of the season?" I don't know. What do you reckon? Like 70, maybe 60? Well, passer rating. What's that?
So you have QBR and you have passing rating. QBR 70 is really good. But passer rating, that's the one that goes to 158.3.
That's when they get like 4 TDs, 20 for 24, 400 yards, right?
Yeah, like a perfect passer rating is 158, but a good passer rating is like anything 100 and above, or used to be. Everything's getting so skewed with the passing now. But I'll give him 101, and with a QBR, we'll give him a 65 QBR. Pretty good season.
Well, the thing with me with the passing is if you're Patrick Mahomes, you can just throw the ball 5 yards forward and it counts as a TD in a pass. You know the shovel passes it does? Like how many times you see him do that and that counts as a TD, ratings go up. It's like, well, that shovel pass, I don't know if that's going to be called, still called a pass or whatever it is, but when you throw it like 1 yard forward, they run past, pick it up, jet sweep through the end zone, that's a TD. That goes to your passer rating.
You get a 6-yard touchdown from that. Wow.
Rod says here he thinks they're going to shock the world. I think we are too. What are your thoughts on like winning the Super Bowl this year? Can they win the Super Bowl? Just like just shock everyone and tell everyone to shut up, and we're going to win it. If
Kenny Pickett makes that year 2 jump to what we hope he can be, first round quarterback, I think anything is on the table. Especially a lot of guys in recent years have made that big jump. It's just kind of the trend in the NFL, it seems like. So if you're that guy, we'll probably see it this year. I think Allen did it. Mahomes, even though it was his first year, did it. Jalen Hurts, all those guys seem to make that jump. So I don't think it's far-fetched, especially if TJ Watt's healthy and Kenny Pickett is a good quarterback. Just doesn't need to be great, just good. Yeah, manage the team. We can get the run game going with the new offensive line. I don't think it's far-fetched. I still think the Steelers win the division. I don't see anyone in that division being Bengals offense.
Only
But
the Bengals. So they're talking on the Bengals offense like it's heaven. It's like the best thing ever in the world. It doesn't make sense to me. Yes, you have Jamar Chase, you've got these guys, but like I don't really see it being the best of the best. Like I think Mahomes is probably the best quarterback. They compared Kenny Pickett to Trevor Lawrence the other day, and I was like, he had an awful rookie season, so his jump was bigger, whereas Kenny Pickett ended the season much better than Lawrence. I think he had 17 interceptions for his rookie season, and they're going, well, he's gonna be like Trevor Lawrence. No, he won't. He'll be better than Trevor Lawrence because he already had a better season than the first year. And
he was handcuffed so hard too. It's really hard to see who Kenny Pickett was with the way they had. By the time he started, Najee was non-existent at that point. The running game was non-existent. The offensive line had not gelled at all. So with some offensive line play and a running game, which is a quarterback's best friend, I think even if he's same Kenny as he was last year, he would put up a 14 touchdown, 5 interception year. Like he'd still be decent.
Well, the thing was too, he started the Jets game halfway through because they started Mitch first. Then he got Buffalo and Philadelphia, right? So two hard games, and then we eventually had the bye, and then came back to be, I think it was 6-2 record or 7-1 or something like that. And then he had back-to-back win games against the Raiders, the Ravens, and he beat the Browns. It was much better progress throughout the whole season. I think people are sleeping on Kenny Pickett as well. They're more excited to see the new quarterbacks this year as rookies. They just like going, Steelers got that guy. He's going to be whatever. No. I'm keen to see his like actual progression as a football player and quarterback because he's working every day. Mm-hmm. Every single day he's working, and they're all saying he can't do anything. It's like, we can't throw that, can't throw this. They all bagged his hand size out, can't throw the deep ball. But you're right. Once he works in the offense and can pass to Robinson or Pickens and DJ can get, like, DJ's one of the best route runners in football right now. And also, the NFL tweeted the other day or did an Instagram story about DJ's route running ability, right? And Kenny Pickett retweeted that or, showed it on his Instagram. So he's buying in. Like, I don't understand what more do you want? You get your quarterback from Pittsburgh who played for the college, is now buying into your team, cracking beers on the stage. Let's go. I don't understand. I don't really understand, man. Sometimes I want to turn the internet off and just watch it by myself. You know what I mean?
And if you want further, just how good the Steelers are, look at Malik Willis right now. He's probably not going to be playing in the league.
No.
That was the thing, right? It was either Willis or Pickett, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at Willis. He can throw the ball 70 yards. He has the hand size. He has the athleticism." Which Kenny is no slouch when it comes to athleticism, but
he can run. He can run as well.
He can run his butt off, dude. He's quick.
Guy. I was more like pretty much talked into about Malik Willis being the Steelers pick until Franco Harris yelled at Kenny Pickett because there was that much media attention around Willis eating chicken wings with Tomlin that I was like, yeah, it's going to be him. It fooled me. And then I forgot about the guy next door. The guy next door in Pittsburgh who Tomlin's been watching for 5 years doesn't need to go to his buddy pro camp. He knows what he looks like. He's been over there, like he's been training with him. Like it doesn't make any sense. So, I'm all for it. I think the way his work ethic is, I think now that Kenny's got married, I think that means a lot too. Like, he's got a stable, functional life. He's, the audio's gone a bit crazy, tiny bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think Kenny right now is, got things going on with his wife, that kind of stuff. I think he's all checked in. But we have another question here. G'day, Alex. What's going on? How much change do you see in the offense do you expect to see? They want to run the ball, but any change? Are you good to go? What do you reckon? You're off.
All right. Sounded good now?
We'll just go with it.
Okay. Yeah. I think I don't know how much we're going to see different this year. I really don't. Especially, again, it's just all on Kenny. If he can throw the ball down the field, he can be effective. The run game's with him. I think we'll see improvements. I still think I was never out on Canada, but I did not like the way he handled rookie Kenny Pickett. So
some a lot of players too. A lot of players he didn't know how to use them, or although maybe he didn't know how to use them, but his media answers were frustrating as a fan. He said he couldn't use Calvin Austin.
Yeah.
And everyone started getting angry. It's like, at least give me a better answer than saying that.
I think, and I think that was a little out of context too. I think he was saying like, this guy's a freak. It's hard to put him in one spot and make him the most effective I'm going to make him. But the offense this year, I think it will be on Kenny, but a lot better. And it started the year last year started with a non-existent Najee, non-existent offensive line, Mitch Trubisky, which I'm not. I think he's a good backup quarterback, and I think he still has potential, but it's just not wasn't the right fit for him or any quarterback for that matter to start the year.
He won the game with Chase Claypool, the Buccaneers game. They went down the field and won that game. It was great. When Kenny went out for, I think, the first concussion or the one that was the real one. I'm not too sure. But he won that game, went down the field, and with Chase Claypool, they won. So he did okay as a backup. Well, there's no pressure on Mitch. He just comes in and plays. With the Ravens game, goes in the field and then hands the ball over. You almost think like he's actually, got a side contract with the Ravens, the way he was throwing the ball to them.
I think he was trying to win his job back. I think he was going to try to come out there and throw. Right. Because he came out that first drive, threw the ball down the field, scored, and it looked like he was catching fire. So then I think he was like, man, I can probably get my job back if I go out here and throw 3 more touchdowns down the field.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. But then what he did, though, he was moving the ball down the field. It was great to see. Great to see. The running game was working after the bye, this kind of stuff. And then, like, 1st and 10, I think it was like from the 45-yard line was the second or third one. Threw it right at the end zone. Double coverage. See you later, mate. Goodbye. It's like, and the other one too, the middle linebacker picked off the 20-yard line. Done. 3 in a row. It was terrible.
It was 3. The first one, I think he got baited. It was just a great defensive play. The guy was kind of sneaking off and came across, or someone ran a funny route and it brought a defender across. And that kind of screwed up the whole route. That might have been on Canada, really. But the last 2 he just threw up there. He thought he could just monster his way in.
Well, that's what they've been saying too as well. What I've been reading around there is that Canada can't, mesh the routes together where they're getting players open or, taking advantage, like the Patriots do where they run the rub concepts and that kind of stuff, or the Chiefs do too, where there's, in man in motion, they actually get a free runner in space. Well, you don't really see that with Canada's offense. You kind of see those jump ball situations. We'll do a few more questions and we'll get out of you guys' hair. It's been a fun interview today, that's for sure, or podcast. Toddy says, what do you think of the new catch rule? You heard about this one?
No.
So you haven't heard? So the new catch rule, to catch everyone up, right? No pun intended. Is it the ball? It's like college. If the ball lands inside the 25-yard line, in the end zone, or 25-yard, anywhere there and bounces in those before the 25 yards, it automatically goes. No, sorry, my bad. If the ball goes into the end zone and hits the end zone, 25 yards, if the ball goes into the 25-yard line and you fair catch it, anywhere, if you're sitting at the 3, the 4, the 5, the 10, you automatically get it to the 25-yard line.
No, I disagree with that. I think unless you're seeing a lot of injuries on these kickoffs, like a crazy amount, I don't see what that does except just make the game that much less exciting.
Makes it boring. So pretty much like if you're standing at the 9-yard line and you probably can't run it back or it won't bounce to the end zone, you're going to get a free 15, 20 yards to go back 25-yard line. It's stupid. It's 1-year trial.
Kickoffs too.
Yeah, they're trying to eliminate kickoffs. Yeah. What we might do, man, we're getting a bit scratchy. So we might actually end it here soon, unless you can't. I don't know what you're into this week. Crazy. What's going on?
I'm not sure if it's my audio. I don't have any sound audio stuff.
Well, you're on top of. You're back now. You're back. I was gonna say, you're kind of back. You're on Mount Washington, so that's fine. We'll do one more question or two. But yeah, man, the kickoff rule sucks. It's just pretty much you can fair catch at the 5 and move up 20 yards and get to free 20 yards, which doesn't make any sense to me. If Kenny would rock a headband, would you wear one? I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't wear a headband. Would you wear a headband?
No, there's a lot of things you could do, but I don't think I'm gonna do it because of Kenny.
Yeah,
I mean, if he reached out to me and said, "Hey, please wear the headband. It's gonna make me play better on game day," I'll put that headband on every time.
Yeah.
If he's gonna throw 4 touchdowns for it.
What if he's like, can you make me an Itz Yinzburgh headband? I'll wear it, you wear it, and I'll pay you, $1 million for the deal. You're like,
Yeah.
yes, I will, sir. Yes, sir. Never take it off. You'll probably lose circulation to your head. I was never a fan of headbands. I used to wear them while I was playing tennis, and actually, I did feel like I was like losing blood circulation to my head. Like, was that tight? I never really liked it. Never really understood headbands.
Yeah, I was more of a wristband guy.
Yeah, it's just got that. Oh, jeez.
Yep.
All right. Well, any more questions in here? Oh wow, Jeremiah I think that Hines Ward could have played on defense. Where would he play? Where would he play on defense?
I think he would have been a hell of a safety.
Safety?
Yeah, there's a few old clips of him playing special teams. He would lay guys out. He'd lay some hits down. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, maybe he could play safety. That would be kind of fun. Any more questions? No, nothing to see. Dead set. J-Devil says the War was a true embodiment of what a Steeler is. I see that. All right, here's one from me then. What do you think? Like, do you think we can win week 1? Because I think we can.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I think if there's a week 2 win against any team, week 1 is the one to do, and I think we've proved it. Beating the Bengals, beating the Bills, that anything is definitely possible that early, even if the team is absolutely ass.
I'll say this to you. Are you scared of Brock Purdy? Are you scared of Sam Darnold, Trey Lance? I don't think they can win. I don't think they'll be able to win the game. I think that if anything wins, it's going to be the 49ers defense from making a play.
If Kenny's bad, it's different.
Yeah, if Kenny throws interceptions, then we're out and we lose 21-10. But I don't, or maybe something like that, right? Or 16-10. I don't know. I don't see that the success that Brock Purdy had was the big story last year. But I think that Kenny can be a better quarterback. I think we can win this game. I reckon we're going to be the underdogs, but I think we win it. I don't see. Oh, the media's going crazy at the moment. Seth Bell says, Mark, is the Yowie real? Have you seen one? Do you know what that is? Do you know what a Yowie is? It's Y-O, I think it's Y-O-W-I-E. Do you know what a Yowie is?
No idea.
It's like like a troll. It's like a troll under the bridge. I don't think they're real. They're not real. And no, I haven't seen one. But we'll cut it there, man. Hey, what's Tyler, man? Thank you for coming on, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah, what are you doing for the next video project you're lining up? Is it Kenny Pickett highlights? What is it?
Probably my next one wanted to be covering just the 90s, whether it's highlights or just the 90s in general, like breaking it down. I don't know why. I have so much fun always watching those years in particular. They're always a blast.
That's the one I missed, was more like the 80s and 90s stuff, because I was born in 1989 and there wasn't really too much success there, right? What's that?
90s were pretty good. They went to the Super Bowl, had a couple AFC championship games.
Oh, that was the Dallas one, right?
Yeah, they were pretty cool, and then Cowher turned that team around. It's actually a super fun decade, and Cordell Stewart was one of the most popular players in the league, so he was a fun guy to watch, man. He was so much fun.
Who's Stewart?
Oh yeah, even though looking back, his numbers at the time were not that bad. Considering how 90s stats looked in passing. He wasn't Marino, but he wasn't the worst thing. He wasn't Bubby Brister.
I guess everyone wanted him fired though, or cut, or whatever.
Any quarterback who doesn't bring success is going to get that. Kenny will probably get it 2 times.
Kenny's going to get in the first quarter, maybe 100 yards or 200 yards and maybe 2 interceptions, and we're going to be like, oh, it's rough. Hey, get rid of me. I knew it was going to be bad. It's like, give him time. All right. So thank you, Tyler, man, for coming in. That was awesome, dude. I like how it started from kangaroos to Kenny Pickett at the end. That's how podcast should go. Alex, mate, thank you for coming in. And yeah, Pittsburgh, you're right. It's Bigfoot. It's something like that. It's some Yowie or something like that. It's just like a mythical creature. Thank you, Gene, mate, for coming and saying hello. And thank you, Seth. And we'll cut here soon. And I don't know. I think the next time you see me, guys, and hopefully you'll check out Itz Yinzburgh. I think a lot of you guys do, but Itz Yinzburgh on YouTube. All kinds of highlights. I can't wait to see what you can do this year. With that team, because I'm hoping that Najee runs over people. He's wearing the visor now. Kenny Pickett, I hope he can score 24 TDs and, like you said, 5 interceptions, something like that. I reckon, man, it's going to be a big year. Big year for us.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be a fun one at least. Win or lose, I always have fun watching. Just like last year was, I think, a win to watch the team grow. As corny as it sounds.
That's okay, man. It's all about that too. It's not just about getting to the Super Bowl and winning it. It's about the whole journey as well. Like, we want to see Warren run someone over. We want to see Cameron Haywood body slam someone. That's what we want.
It's all about the moments in between. It's all fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, checking out Still Australia, and I'll see you guys later on.